So here I am in Davos for the annual World Economic Forum, and I will be talking probably a lot about our determination and our confidence that we will return inflation back to 2% medium term.
I mean, I'd love to see stablecoin legislation in the United States. Some of us have been working really hard to make that happen. I hope it does in this first quarter. If it doesn't happen by the first quarter, it's not going to happen this year. And because of the election.
Is that we have leveraged it and we have flipped it over, if you want, to the legacy environment. So that the same digital issuance is perfectly usable in the secondary markets on the huge network that we represent to all people that are connected to that network.
I don't want to get upset right now, but I just want the viewers to know that I want justice and I want the truth out, but we're faced with these people who don't give a shit about the truth.
I do believe, though, is that at the end of the day, you will end up with a dual world in terms of system of payment.
Do not surrender to the advance of the state. The state is not the solution. The state is the problem itself.
Cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and then we can use it to buy and sell real estate and move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing things.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that.
They custody things wrong. People start thinking, I want the extra 5% yield by sticking it into some project of which they know nothing about the security of. And the don't fuck this up is, don't let somebody take your tokens.
I joined the board of Ripple because XRP serves a purpose. It's a function that facilitates cross-border payments. It's not some store of value, kind of arbitrary value that is not pegged to anything. This is actually what legitimate financial institutions use.
Enjoy the ride, pal.
It's the XRP Army.
If you got some baggies, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Boon o'clock news. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra. Bullishness. Latest sub was a scammer, so I took it down. Go ahead, buckle up. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing them likies, stuffing some baggies. Go ahead. Throw on those moon suits. Throw on those pilot shades. Strap in, because the future's extra. Bullish. Let's go full speed, full throttle. Into the cryptoverse. We have the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 1.76 trillion, down about 1.2 in the past 24. We got the total trading volume in the last day right around 74.9 billion. We got XRP in the number 6 spot here, right around 57 cents. Stellar XLM right around 12 cents. We got BTC right around 42,353. ETH right around 2,500. Sol right underneath a hundo. We got XDC in the number 105 spot right beneath the nickel. We got Songbird 007 and we got Flare 0.02. We got one from Christine Lagarde to kick things off. Says she's happy to be back in Davos for the WEF annual meetings. During this week, they'll be focusing on discussing the global economic outlook. From my side, she says I'll be talking about the progress we made to bring inflation back to our 2% target. World Economic Forum 2024.
Hello. So here I am in Davos for the annual World Economic Forum, and I will be talking probably a lot about our determination and our confidence that we will return inflation back to 2% medium term. I will also be listening to what other participants have to say, because it's always a time when you can understand what is going on in the industry, what are the latest developments, and that obviously informs the way in which we make our decisions when it comes to monetary policy.
We got Danielle Dixon commencing WEF 2024 on a high note, exploring blockchain's playbook for the financial inclusion, thanks to our moderator. Diverse perspectives made for an engaging conversations, even when opinions differ. We got Stellar WEF XRP front and center. We got one from 801 XRP, Danielle Dixon. I would love to see stablecoin legislation in the United States. Tokenization.
Well, and the industry is suffering as a result of the bad actors, and that's the big challenge. From a regulatory standpoint, there's really, I'd love to see stablecoin legislation in the United States. Some of us have been working really hard to make that happen. I hope it does in this first quarter. If it doesn't happen by the first quarter, it's not going to happen this year. And because of the election, we've seen great legislation in Europe that have tried to address some of these issues. But the truth is, even that, it's so much focused on the tech stack instead of focused on outcomes. And that the harm and the potentially harmful outcomes are what regulators are supposed to focus on. And that's a good thing. That's the consumer protection angle. Those are the things that we want regulators to do for consumers and for customers, businesses, and everyone out there. That's not what we're seeing right now. And that's the challenge. I think so much of it is fear-based. faced. And so much of it is because of the fact that we had these bad actors. But let's just be honest, it was already happening before the bad actors came out and we knew who they were. I think that there wasn't that engagement. And I think it was because of this, the fact that it was this technology that was scary. It's this technology that was potentially a threat when in fact it's not, and it's an enhancement. It's something that works with traditional financial infrastructure. And despite trying to work to educate and trying to work to say, like, ask us the questions you want, we still haven't gotten to that nice alignment. In some jurisdictions we have, but in the US we haven't. And that's the challenge that we have.
So last week in the US, the SEC, after a bit of a false alarm, finally approved the spot Bitcoin ETF. How much should be read into that as we talk about the kind of direction of travel around regulation? How significant a moment is that for, obviously for crypto, but also for tokenization? Because a lot of the commentary around that was like, that is going to be a signal to move towards tokenization across traditional finance as well. So I'm kind of curious how meaningful that moment is. I
think that there were already really big signals around tokenization from the OCC and other regulators in the US that demonstrated that, hey, we're interested, mostly because industry is interested. So having industry care made it so that the regulators were interested. I think that, I mean, I would love to say that this is a shift in the SEC's position on things. I don't see that that's necessarily it, but I love that it happened. I think it's a really important step for us.
We got another one from 801 XRP, Tokenization Economy, Davos. I sometimes say that it's probably history will say that it's unhelpful for blockchains that its first use case was Bitcoin.
And I think you were talking earlier about the noise around blockchain. I sometimes say that probably history will say that it was unhelpful for blockchain, that the first use case was Bitcoin. Because I think it has probably created this noise over the technology, and it is important to look at the technology. So we have taken it further. It's not that we are willing, it's not that we are exploring, we have done it. So as I mentioned last year, we came to the conclusion that the big worry was about fragmentation and loss of liquidity, which made the concepts that we were first working on, and it's not by coincidence that you talk about money market funds. As liquidity was reduced, it was really about very short-term paper, buy and hold, because secondary market was much harder as it was just focused on one chain. But what we have done with Euroclear, we have looked at this challenge and we said, how can we address this? And we have done a great work with the World Bank that has done its first fully digital issuance, and we have built our own blockchain on which there is not only the security token, but we also have created our cash token on it, which is a representation of Euroclear Bank, commercial bank money. And what we have done is that we have done this fully under existing legal framework. We felt it was important not to be in a pilot case or in a sandbox, because this is limiting the use. We say this has to be possible under the regular legal framework. And we have done this issuance focused entirely on the primary phase. So we have done the primary issuance, the primary distribution. But then what we have done in order to address the challenge of fragmentation and the challenge of this being very short-term paper interest then, is that we have leveraged it and we have flipped it over, if you want, to the legacy environment. So that the same digital issuance is perfectly usable in the secondary markets on the huge network that we represent to all people that are connected to that network. It can be used as collateral management. It can be used, and it has been used as collateral management. It has been used in tri-party. And so this experience now is helping us, I believe, to say, okay, we take in part of the value chain, we take the efficiencies, we take the advantages of the technology, we tackle the disadvantages that we have seen by bringing it back to the big network, and this also allows to see a start of a migration path. Because also what I mentioned last year is that while you can imagine the ideal end state of everybody being connected on a chain and interacting in an existing financial environment where the network effect is so important, it's hard to see the migration path. And I believe with what we have done now, we see how we can take for part of the value chain already efficiencies without losing these efficiencies, doing it in an existing legal framework, and start seeing migration paths with the entire ecosystem for the years to come.
Interoperability will be key. Whatever it is, it's going to need a bridge to the other side. We got XRP drops remarkable words from John Deaton when he explains why the SEC and Gary Gensler will not investigate ETHgate.
I'm just saying is that it would require Gary Gensler to go against the Larry Finks of the world who are already pushing for it. And I'm just saying that the clock is ticking. And unless there is some kind of overwhelming pressure on Gensler and the SEC to pursue a fraud case, it's most likely not going to happen. And I'm just trying to always be realistic with people. If I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. But it's going to take, I think something overwhelming. And you could have overwhelming proof, but that doesn't mean that these people will do it. Because we know the truth doesn't guide them and justice doesn't guide them. These are insiders. They're political hacks. They allow regulatory capture to go on constantly. The SEC, it doesn't have a revolving door, right? No more, because a revolving door assumes that it closes sometime. It is just these regulators are going from, Clayton, basically Kushner gets his loan from Apollo Group, and then the SEC drops the case against Apollo Group, and then Jay Clayton becomes director of Apollo Group, right? And I could go on with all the other examples that happen. I don't want to get upset right now, but I just want the viewers to know that I want justice and I want the truth out, but we're faced with these people who don't give a shit about the truth. And they don't care about justice, and they don't care about free markets and a level playing field. All they care about is their pockets. I'm sick of it. Other people are sick of it, but I'll give you the last word and then we'll call it a day.
Eleanor Tarrant, Coinbase's lawyer, on the SEC's argument that Coinbase is ignoring the security laws. It's not we who are unwilling to faithfully apply the case law. It's the commission. They're trying to stuff these transactions into Howey when they don't belong there. We think that's what's happening. We got high vibe assets, XRB holders. This is bigger than you think. XRP overnight will become the most demanded crypto in the world.
And, this guy sells it to that guy. That's essentially, what the stock exchange does. So if you can have a common ledger to be able to exchange those IOUs at, then that certainly makes sense. And there's examples of Korean banks partnering with local, Bitcoin companies for the settlement. People like the IMF or World Bank or these kind of people are always talking about these sort of blockchain settlement systems. NASDAQ is involved in I think, doing some trials with Ripple as well. So
we got one from the Black Swan capitalists. Can't stress this enough. Central banks are stacking up on gold for a reason. There's a major move behind closed doors toward a gold-backed blockchain-based settlement mechanism that levels the playing field. XRP.
We don't want to get ruled by the U.S. on a worldwide basis. So particularly China, but Russia and some India, some of the other countries are in the process of creating a dual system of payment of currency to counteract the US dollar. And so these central banks are buying gold as a reserve currency. Will they use gold to back a new currency or a basket of currency? Will they use a crypto kind of currency backed by the Chinese government? We don't know. What I do believe, though, is that at the end of the day, you will end up with a dual world in terms of system of payment and the currency you pay.
That Bitcoin magazine, Justin, Bitcoin friendly Argentina president, says do not surrender to the advance of the state. The state is not the solution. The state is the problem itself. Long live freedom.
Do not surrender to the advance of the state. The state is not the solution. The state is the problem itself. You are the true protagonists of this story. And rest assured that as from today, Argentina is your staunch, unconditional ally. Thank you very much, and long live freedom. Damn.
We got one from Bitcoin magazine. JP Morgan CEO calls Bitcoin shitcoin, and he says they don't never talk about it again.
Could we pivot to a topic that I know you find sort of laborious at this point?
Good word.
Which is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
This ETF was approved just about a week ago now, and I think a lot of people are trying to understand what it ultimately means. JP Morgan, I imagine if you were a client of JP Morgan, you could call your broker and say, "Get me some of this ETF." Mm-hmm. What are you telling your brokers to tell them back when they make that call?
Yeah. So this is an important thing. This is the last time I've ever talked about this in CNBC. Okay, so help me God. Blockchain is real. It's a technology. We use it. It's going to move money. It's going to move data. It's efficient. We've been talking about that for 12 years too, and it's very small. Okay, so I think we've wasted too many words in that. Cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and then we can use it to buy and sell real estate to move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, there's, first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. There are use cases. AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking.
It was never BTC. BTC was just a test. Get ready for XRP to go live 1,000 times cheaper, 1,000 times more efficient than Bitcoin. Know what you hold, know what's coming, and know why. They don't want you with it. He also says that President Trump was right about tax reform and he grew the economy quite well. We got one from Riz XRP. Protect yourself from yourself. Buy and hodl is the model. Don't F this up.
Look, you've been around this for a long time. We've all made the mistakes and everybody makes mistakes. It's very hard dealing with an asset, let's say crypto, that is very volatile, but when it runs, it really runs. And you become overwhelmed by emotion. FOMO. You see your friends bought that 100x dog coin and you're like, I want some of that. You want to look for 100x's as opposed to just own some Bitcoin. And if you want to own some ETH and if, a few of the big projects and just buy and hold. But people don't do it. They want to start trading it because they think they can make more money. Also, they custody things wrong. People start thinking, I want the extra 5% yield by sticking it into some project of which they know nothing about the security of. And the don't fuck this up is don't let somebody take your tokens. Don't trade and hold quality assets. If you can do that with 90% of your portfolio, you will do well. Keep 10% to be a total filthy degen. Do what the hell you want, because that will go to zero. We've all got the wallet of shame, right? Every single one of us has a wallet of shame of shrapnel left for the previous cycle that didn't do anything. So don't fuck it up. It's trying to protect people from themselves.
We're on the verge of the greatest transformation in history. You're either on the sidelines or you're loading up on those utility coins hidden in plain sight. Welcome to the Internet of Value. We got Flare Networks in addition to the Google Cloud supporting Flare Networks as a validator and contributor of the FTSO. All of the Flare API portal APIs are now available through the Google Cloud Marketplace. We got L Crypto, altcoins, 2-week bearish crash, MACD, and the BTC dominance. This has only happened in 2017 and 2020 and 2021, which was followed by a strong alt season. It is now happening again, 2024. Be patient. Coming. We got crypto's TAXRP back at the bottom of this range, awaiting the daily close. We got one from EGRAC Crypto XRP ASO update on October 3rd, 2023. The bullish cross was highlighted along with the insights into the historical pattern. For a clearer picture, please refer to this link. What's unfolding now? Confidently, I can affirm that the current curve closely resembles the formation seen in 2017. Check out the chart below labeled check here for a visual representation. What's your take on this? Are we gearing up for a parabolic insane pump, or is it a different formation in the cards that will leave us all, y'all? XRP Army, stay ready. XRP setting up for that next SEC base melting pump. And with that being said, Batman and Bag ladies, if you don't got no XRP, it's time to wake up because the trains left the station and XRP is a core component for the next financial system.
I joined the board of Ripple because XRP serves a purpose. It's a function that facilitates cross-border payments. It's not some store of value, kind of arbitrary value that is not pegged to anything. This is actually what legitimate financial institutions use.
This isn't some BTC store of value with no use case, no utility. XRP works, up and running since 2012. All ledgers closed since inception. Faster, cheaper, more efficient. No more middleman snatching the fees. Where will you be? 2025 when BTC goes to zero and XRP takes back that top spot. Later glitches. I am the XRP Bagman. The Moon Commander currently up here on the mothership, stuffing some bags and enjoying the show. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing them likeys for some more Moon O'Clock news. Hope y'all continue to stay extra bullish. Continue holding those good vibes. Remember to sell the FUD, buy those baggies, and don't forget to spread that liquid love. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to drop a subscribe, drop a comment down below. All the OG diamond hands out there, drop a comment down below, drop an elbow on that like button from the top ropes. Catch you up here, top floor on the mothership for the moon party. BYOB, bring your own bags, be your own bank, be your own boss. Peace out, crypto ghosts. Later, glitches.
But to get these drops, got drops on drops and they coming in fast. And it's been a long journey, just thankful for the chance. Haters in the comments, no pop, they mad. I remember when I got in, only wanted a few stacks, but you can never have enough, keep adding zerps to the stash. And however this thing go, I'm just hoping we free some souls. The richest ducks in Babylon, to find my way and ghosts. Swimming in a pond of wealth as that liquidity flows. As the story goes, better get these drops in.